Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, wide awake for no reason, staring at the ceiling while the clock keeps ticking? You try turning over, fluffing the pillow, counting sheep, even replaying your day in your head, but nothing works. You just can't fall back asleep. It's frustrating, right? Especially when you have to be up early and you know tomorrow is going to feel like a foggy blur. Well, what if I told you that the real reason you're waking up at night has less to do with your sleep routine and more to do with something hiding inside your body? Your cortisol levels. And what if I told you that just 1 tablespoon of a simple, natural remedy can help lower cortisol fast and help you fall back asleep peacefully within minutes? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why this happens, how your body's stress hormone is secretly sabotaging your rest, and what you can do tonight to finally sleep through the night like you used to. Before we dive into that one powerful tablespoon remedy, let's talk about why this happens in the first place. You see, our bodies are beautifully designed with rhythms, what we call the circadian rhythm. It's like your internal clock, telling you when to wake up and when to sleep. But over time, especially as we age, this rhythm can start to get out of sync. One of the main reasons is a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol isn't bad. It's essential. It's the hormone that wakes you up in the morning, gives you energy, and helps your body handle stress. But when cortisol becomes too high at the wrong time, like in the middle of the night, it's like your body hits the wake up button while your brain is still trying to sleep. Let's connect the dots. Imagine you had a stressful day. Maybe you worried about something, or you didn't eat enough during dinner, or your blood sugar dropped in the middle of the night. Your body senses that as a threat. It responds by releasing cortisol to bring your blood sugar up. Suddenly, your heart rate goes up just a little, your mind starts racing, and you find yourself wide awake at 2 or 3 a.m. Sound familiar? That's cortisol doing its job, but at the wrong time. And as we get older, especially for people over 50 or 60, our cortisol regulation becomes less stable. Add in hormonal changes, slower metabolism, and sometimes nutritional deficiencies, and your sleep becomes one of the first things to suffer. But here's where it gets interesting. You can actually help your body reset and calm that nighttime cortisol spike with something you probably already have in your kitchen. Just 1 tablespoon of a simple natural ingredient can help tell your body, it's okay, you're safe, go back to sleep. This isn't a pill, it's not melatonin, and it's not caffeine related. It's something much simpler, raw honey. Just 1 tablespoon of raw, unprocessed honey before bed or when you wake up in the night can help lower cortisol and gently nudge your body back into its sleep rhythm. Here's how it works. Your brain runs on glucose, and when your blood sugar drops too low at night, your body interprets that as a danger signal. Cortisol gets released to bring your blood sugar back up. But if you take a little honey, it provides your brain with a slow, steady supply of glucose throughout the night. That means your body doesn't need to release cortisol to compensate. Your stress hormone stays calm and your brain stays relaxed. That's why people who try this often report that within minutes of having a spoonful of honey, they start to feel their body soften, their mind quiet down, and sleep just naturally returns. It's amazing how something so simple can work so effectively. And if you're worried about sugar, don't be. The amount in 1 tablespoon of raw honey isn't enough to spike insulin or cause fat gain. It's just enough to stabilize your blood sugar and tell your body everything is okay. In fact, honey has unique properties that support your liver while you sleep. And that's where most of your nighttime detox and hormone balancing happens. So when you support your liver with honey, you're actually supporting deeper, more restorative sleep. But let's go even deeper. Cortisol isn't just about stress. It's a survival hormone. It's linked to how safe your body feels. If you're going to bed tense, worried, or hungry, your body doesn't feel safe enough to fully relax. It keeps you half awake, monitoring your environment. This is especially common among older adults because with age, our body's ability to handle stress naturally decreases. So we need to work smarter, not harder. We need to create a sense of internal calm before bed. That's why this tablespoon trick works best when combined with a few simple bedtime habits that signal safety to your brain. Before you go to bed, try turning down bright lights at least 30 minutes before sleeping. Avoid scrolling through your phone. The blue light confuses your brain into thinking it's daytime. Instead, dim the lights, stretch your body a little, and do a few deep breaths. When your body feels calm and grounded, cortisol naturally drops. And when you pair that with a little honey, your body's nighttime chemistry shifts beautifully into rest mode. Some people like to mix their honey with a pinch of Himalayan salt or magnesium powder. Why? Because magnesium and sodium help calm your nervous system. Magnesium relaxes your muscles, and sodium helps maintain fluid balance in your cells. Together with honey, they create the perfect trifecta to lower cortisol, support your liver, and stabilize your blood sugar. You can try this simple combination: 1 tablespoon of raw honey, a pinch of Himalayan salt, and a small sip of warm water. Take it right before bed or when you wake up in the middle of the night. Within minutes, you'll feel your body relaxing again. And I know what you might be thinking. Can something this simple really make that big of a difference? The answer is yes, because it addresses the root cause, not the symptom. Most sleep aids only sedate your brain, but they don't correct the internal imbalance that causes you to wake up. This remedy, however, works with your body's natural biology. It gives your brain what it needs so cortisol doesn't have to step in. There's actually a fascinating connection between cortisol and melatonin. They work opposite each other. When cortisol is high, melatonin is low, and when cortisol drops, melatonin rises. So if you can lower cortisol naturally, melatonin automatically increases, helping you drift back into a deeper, more restorative stage of sleep. That's why people who learn to manage their nighttime cortisol often report not just better sleep, but more energy during the day, clearer thinking, and even better mood. I remember someone sharing their experience about this. They said they used to wake up around 3 a.m. every night like clockwork. They'd toss and turn, sometimes even get out of bed because they couldn't stand lying awake. But after trying a tablespoon of raw honey before bed, within a few nights, their body began to sleep through till morning. The reason? Their blood sugar stayed stable, cortisol stayed quiet, and their brain finally got permission to rest. And this is especially powerful for seniors. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin and our stress tolerance lowers. That's why even small worries or late night hunger can wake us up. So adding a natural cortisol, calming step before bed can be life-changing. You start waking up feeling more refreshed, less anxious, and more in control of your sleep again. Another tip to help lower cortisol naturally is to avoid caffeine too late in the day. Caffeine lingers in your system for hours. Even if you drink it in the afternoon, it can still affect your cortisol rhythm at night. Try switching to herbal tea in the evening. Chamomile, lemon balm, or passion flower tea can be beautiful natural ways to calm your nervous system and prepare your body for sleep. And when you pair that soothing tea with your tablespoon of honey, it's like sending your body the ultimate, "You're safe, it's time to rest" message. You might also want to look at your nighttime routine. Do you often go to bed after watching the news or scrolling through social media? Those habits might seem harmless, but they can trigger small cortisol spikes that keep your body alert. Try ending your evening with something peaceful, a book, gentle stretching, or gratitude journaling. When you shift your focus to calm, your brain shifts too. Let's talk about one more thing that's often overlooked: hydration. When your body is slightly dehydrated, cortisol rises to help conserve energy and maintain blood pressure. So if you're waking up at night, it could be your body asking for water. A small glass of warm water with a dash of honey before bed can actually hydrate you and soothe your body at the same time. And there's something else: breathing. When cortisol is high, your breathing becomes shallow and fast, even when you don't notice it. Try this when you wake up at night. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, then exhale slowly for 6. This pattern directly signals your brain that you're safe. Within a few breaths, your heart rate slows and cortisol begins to drop naturally. Combine that with your honey, and you'll feel a wave of calm wash over your body. There's also a gut connection here. High cortisol can disrupt your gut bacteria, and a disrupted gut can, in turn, raise cortisol. It's a two-way street. Raw honey supports healthy gut bacteria, helping break that cycle. So when you take honey, you're not just improving your sleep, you're also improving your digestion, your immune system, and your overall hormonal balance. And here's the best part. This isn't something that takes weeks to notice. Many people report feeling a difference within just a few nights. You may find yourself waking up fewer times, falling back asleep faster, and waking in the morning feeling more refreshed instead of groggy. Over time, as your body learns this new rhythm, those middle of the night wake-ups may disappear altogether. Sometimes people ask if any kind of honey works. The answer is, it must be raw and unprocessed. The regular, clear honey you find in squeeze bottles is often heated and filtered, which destroys many of its enzymes and nutrients. Look for a cloudy, thick honey labeled raw or unfiltered. That's the kind that still contains natural enzymes, antioxidants, and trace minerals that nourish your body and help calm the nervous system. If you want to enhance the effect even more, you can try adding a sprinkle of cinnamon. Cinnamon has been shown to balance blood sugar and support insulin sensitivity. So if your nighttime waking is linked to glucose drops, this little addition can help stabilize things even better. A teaspoon of raw honey with a pinch of cinnamon before bed. It's delicious, comforting, and deeply calming. Imagine this. It's late, you've had a long day, and you're ready for bed. You take your tablespoon of honey, maybe mixed with a touch of salt or cinnamon. You dim the lights, take a few deep breaths, and let your body relax. You drift into sleep. If you wake up at 2 a.m., instead of panicking or grabbing your phone, you simply take another spoonful, close your eyes, and feel your body settling again. No racing thoughts, no tossing and turning, just calm, natural sleep. That's what balance feels like. Your sleep is one of the most powerful forms of healing your body has. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxins, your cells repair, your muscles rebuild, and your hormones rebalance. But when cortisol keeps interrupting that process, you miss out on the rejuvenation your body desperately needs. So by managing cortisol, especially at night, you're not just improving sleep, you're supporting longevity, heart health, memory, and mood. The beautiful thing about the human body is that it always wants to heal. It's always working to bring itself back to balance. Sometimes all we need to do is give it the right support. 1 tablespoon of honey might seem small, but it sends a big message to your body that you're safe, nourished, and it's okay to rest. The next time you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, don't get frustrated. Instead, smile, take a slow, deep breath, reach for that little spoonful of honey, and know that you're helping your body do exactly what it's meant to do: rest, recover, and restore. Over time, your nights will start to feel more peaceful, your mornings more energized, and you'll find that deep, restful sleep that you thought you'd lost for good coming back naturally, beautifully, one night at a time. And there's something even more powerful that goes hand in hand with the body's natural rhythm, and that tablespoon trick we talked about earlier. Mindful breathing. Most people underestimate how deeply the breath can influence hormones, especially cortisol and melatonin. When you wake up at night, your breathing pattern tells your body whether you're in danger or at peace. Rapid, shallow breathing signals stress and triggers more cortisol. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing tells your body, I'm safe. It's incredible how something so simple can send such a profound message to your brain. The moment your body feels safe, cortisol starts to drop and melatonin begins to rise. It's not magic, it's biology. You're literally using your breath to communicate directly with your nervous system. When you practice mindful breathing before bed, you're setting the tone for your body to enter a calm, restorative state. Most of us go through the day in a rush, thinking, planning, worrying. That mental chatter doesn't just disappear when you lie down, it follows you into bed. And that's when the tossing and turning begins. The mind stays awake because it hasn't been told to rest yet. Mindful breathing bridges that gap between the busy mind and the resting body. It tells your nervous system to slow down, helps balance oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, and reduces heart rate, all signals that trigger the brain to start producing melatonin naturally. There's a fascinating relationship between breathing and hormones. Every slow exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for rest and digestion. It's the opposite of the fight or flight system that's controlled by cortisol, So every time you take a slow, controlled breath, you're literally turning off the stress switch and turning on the relaxation switch. You can feel it when you do it properly. Your shoulders drop, your heartbeat slows, and your mind begins to quiet. That's the exact moment melatonin production kicks in. Now, you don't have to be an expert meditator or do any complicated techniques. Even simple, conscious breathing can work wonders. One of the easiest ways to begin is the 4-7-8 technique. You inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8. That long exhale is the key. It lengthens the time your body spends in relaxation mode. When you practice this for a few minutes before bed, you'll notice how your thoughts start to slow, your body feels heavier, and sleep feels like it's gently pulling you in. The beauty of mindful breathing is that it works even if you wake up in the middle of the night. Instead of getting frustrated or anxious, you can use your breath to guide yourself back into sleep. Close your eyes, place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach, and start to slow your breathing. Feel your stomach rise as you inhale and gently fall as you exhale. Keep your focus there. Don't force sleep, just breathe. Within minutes, your cortisol levels begin to drop and melatonin starts to take over again. The body naturally knows what to do once you create the right internal environment. For seniors especially, mindful breathing before bed can be life-changing. As we age, stress tolerance declines, and small worries can easily disrupt sleep. Breathing becomes shallow without us realizing it, especially after a day of physical tension or emotional stress. When breathing is shallow, it signals your brain that you're still on alert. That's why even when you're tired, you might feel wired at night. By consciously deepening your breath, you're retraining your body to associate slow breathing with safety and rest. Over time, this habit helps your body automatically lower cortisol when it's time to sleep. You might be surprised to know that how you breathe during the day affects how you sleep at night. People who breathe through their mouths or take quick, shallow breaths often have higher baseline cortisol levels. Nasal breathing, on the other hand, promotes nitric oxide production, which helps dilate blood vessels, improve oxygen flow, and calm the nervous system. That's why breathing through your nose during relaxation practices before bed is so effective. It's like giving your brain a signal to switch modes. Mindful breathing also helps release physical tension. When cortisol is high, muscles tend to stay slightly contracted. You may not even notice it, but your shoulders, neck, or jaw might be tight, keeping your body in a low, level state of stress. Deep breathing relaxes those muscles by increasing oxygen flow and encouraging the release of endorphins, your body's natural relaxation chemicals. When the body relaxes, the mind follows. It's a loop. Relax the breath, and you calm the body, and you quiet the mind. Another beautiful effect of mindful breathing is that it helps balance your heart rate variability, or HRV. HRV measures the flexibility of your nervous system. A higher HRV means your body can easily shift between stress and relaxation. People who practice slow breathing regularly often have higher HRV and lower nighttime cortisol. That means your body learns to recover faster from stress and sleep deeper. So by practicing mindful breathing before bed, you're not only improving tonight's sleep, you're training your body to handle stress better every day. You can even combine breathing with visualization to enhance the effect. As you breathe in, imagine calmness and safety flowing into your body. As you exhale, imagine releasing tension, worries, or anything that doesn't serve you. Visualization works powerfully with breath because your brain can't tell the difference between imagined calm and real calm. It responds the same way by lowering cortisol and encouraging melatonin release. The more vividly you imagine peace, the stronger the hormonal response becomes. For those who struggle to quiet their mind, counting breaths helps anchor attention. Try this. Breathe in and silently count 1, breathe out and count 2, and continue up to 10. If your mind wanders, gently start over. This simple practice keeps your thoughts from spiraling and redirects focus to your breath, which helps the brain transition into sleep mode. When your attention rests on something steady like your breath, cortisol naturally decreases. Because your brain perceives no threat, mindful breathing can also be enhanced with gentle aromatherapy. Scents like lavender, sandalwood, or chamomile activate the same calming pathways in the brain that deep breathing does. When you combine the two, the effect is amplified. Try adding a few drops of essential oil to your pillow or using a diffuser while practicing slow breathing. The combination of scent and breath helps anchor your body in relaxation, creating the perfect conditions for melatonin to rise. If you want to take your breathing practice even further, try pairing it with gratitude. As you breathe slowly, think about something that went well today or something you appreciate. Gratitude shifts your brain out of survival mode and into a state of safety. Studies show that gratitude directly lowers cortisol and improves sleep quality. When you add that emotional element to mindful breathing, your brain releases serotonin, which later converts into melatonin. So gratitude breathing not only helps you fall asleep faster, but also deepens your rest. There's also a reason why ancient traditions like yoga and Tai Chi have emphasized breathing for centuries. They recognize that the breath is the bridge between the mind and body. In yoga, breathing practices called pranayama are designed specifically to regulate energy and calm the nervous system. Modern science now confirms what those traditions knew all along. Controlled breathing directly affects cortisol and melatonin balance. By integrating just a few minutes of mindful breathing into your bedtime routine, you're using one of the most powerful natural tools for hormonal harmony. Now imagine this, you've had a long day, maybe a little stressful, maybe full of tasks and thoughts that don't seem to stop. You get ready for bed, the lights are dim, and you sit quietly for a moment. You take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, feel your chest expand, hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale softly through your mouth. You do this again and again. With each breath, the chatter in your mind starts to fade. Your body begins to feel heavier, your heartbeat slows, and a sense of calm spreads from your chest outward. In that quiet space, your body knows it's time to rest. Cortisol lowers, melatonin rises, and you drift into a deep, peaceful sleep. It's important to know that mindful breathing is not about controlling your breath perfectly. It's about awareness, about paying attention to how your body feels when you breathe. Sometimes your mind will wander, and that's okay. The key is to gently bring it back to your breath. That gentle redirection is what trains your brain to let go. It's what turns restlessness into stillness. And that's exactly what your body needs to lower cortisol and invite melatonin to flow freely. For people who struggle with nighttime anxiety, this can be a real game changer. Anxiety raises cortisol, making it nearly impossible to sleep. But when you use your breath as an anchor, your body can't stay in a high stress state. It's physiologically impossible to feel anxious and breathe slowly at the same time. The two can't coexist. That's why this method works not just for better sleep, but also for reducing stress during the day. The more you practice it in your waking hours, the easier it becomes to use at night when you need it most. And here's something remarkable. Consistent breathing practice can actually rewire your stress response over time. The more often you use mindful breathing, the faster your body learns to release cortisol when it's not needed. You'll find yourself feeling calmer during the day, handling challenges with more grace, and sleeping more deeply at night. It becomes a natural rhythm, like teaching your body a new language of peace. If you want to make this part of your nightly ritual, start simple. As you get into bed, take just 5 minutes for mindful breathing. Dim the lights, put away distractions, and let those minutes belong only to you. Feel the air move in and out, listen to the quiet, and notice how your body responds. Over time, those 5 minutes will become something your body craves, your natural transition from wakefulness to rest. This practice doesn't cost anything, doesn't require any equipment, and yet it can profoundly change your nights. Many people find that after just a few days of mindful breathing, they wake up feeling more refreshed, more mentally clear, and more emotionally balanced. That's the power of using the body's own systems to heal itself. When you pair mindful breathing with a stable nighttime routine, your tablespoon of honey, your calm environment, your dim lighting, you create a complete circle of support for your hormones. Cortisol lowers naturally, melatonin flows freely, and your body's natural healing mechanisms switch on. You begin to feel that deep, effortless rest that your body has been missing, the kind of sleep that leaves you feeling restored from the inside out, where every breath before bed becomes a bridge to the peace your body has been craving all along. And there's another reason many people struggle with restless nights, one that most of us don't even think about. It's the amount of daylight we get during the day. Insufficient daylight exposure during the day disrupts nighttime cortisol suppression, and that might sound technical, but it's actually very simple and very real. Your body depends on light to know what time it is. Every cell in your body, especially the ones in your brain, use light cues to regulate your circadian rhythm. The 24-hour internal clock that tells you when to wake up, when to eat, and when to sleep. When you don't get enough natural light during the day, that internal clock starts to lose its sense of timing. Cortisol, the hormone that should rise in the morning and fall at night, stays confused. It doesn't drop properly when it's supposed to, and that keeps your body alert long after it should be resting. Imagine this: you wake up, but instead of getting sunlight first thing in the morning, you go straight into indoor lighting. Maybe you work inside all day, under artificial bulbs or behind a screen. Your eyes and brain never get that strong signal that says it's daytime. So your brain doesn't release cortisol properly in the morning when it should. Then at night, because that signal was weak, your body doesn't fully realize it's time to power down. Cortisol levels stay higher than they should, and you end up lying awake, restless, even though you feel exhausted. This is one of the most common reasons older adults experience poor sleep. And it's not because of age, it's because of the way our modern environment starves us of natural light. You see, sunlight is not just about vision, it's nourishment for your hormones. When sunlight hits your eyes in the morning, it sends a message through your optic nerve to a part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. The SCN is like the conductor of your body's hormonal orchestra. It tells cortisol to rise sharply to wake you up and helps suppress melatonin, which keeps you alert through the day. But this same system depends on light-dark contrast. You need strong light in the morning and less light at night. Without that contrast, the rhythm gets flatlined. Your body doesn't know when to be awake or when to sleep, and cortisol stays floating around at the wrong times. Now think about this. Your ancestors spent most of their lives outdoors, bathing in sunlight from sunrise to sunset. Their bodies were naturally synchronized with nature. Cortisol spiked in the morning as the sun rose and dropped in the evening as darkness fell. But today, most of us live under dim indoor light during the day and then expose ourselves to bright, artificial light from screens at night. It's the exact opposite of what our biology expects. The result, the body's natural cortisol rhythm is flipped upside down, and nighttime cortisol suppression doesn't happen the way it should. So you end up feeling tired during the day and wired at night. When cortisol isn't properly suppressed at night, your body stays in a mild state of alertness. Even if you manage to fall asleep, it's often shallow sleep. You wake up easily, sometimes multiple times, and never quite reach the deep, restorative stages that heal your body and mind. Over time, that chronic sleep disruption can affect everything: your mood, metabolism, immune system, even your memory. And it all starts with something as simple as not getting enough daylight exposure during the day. One of the most effective ways to fix this is to get outside within the first hour after waking. You don't have to sunbathe or do anything complicated. Just step outside and let the morning light hit your eyes. Even 5 to 10 minutes can reset your internal clock. The natural light tells your brain, it's daytime now, time to wake up, and cortisol rises appropriately. That strong morning signal makes it much easier for your body to lower cortisol later at night when it's time to sleep. It's like setting your hormonal clock to the right time zone every morning. And if you can spend more time outdoors throughout the day, even better. Sunlight exposure helps your body produce serotonin, the neurotransmitter that makes you feel calm and happy. Later in the evening, that same serotonin converts into melatonin, the sleep hormone. So the more sunlight you get during the day, the more melatonin your body can produce at night. It's a natural chain reaction that many people don't realize they're interrupting just by spending too much time indoors. You might have noticed that on days when you spend time in nature, walking, gardening, or just sitting outside, you sleep better that night. That's not a coincidence. It's your cortisol rhythm functioning the way it's meant to. Sunlight helps anchor that rhythm while artificial light confuses it. So if you're waking up at night and struggling to fall back asleep, one of the simplest, most overlooked solutions is to increase your exposure to natural daylight during the day. There's another fascinating aspect to this. The type of light your body needs isn't just any light. It's blue light from the sun in the morning. Natural sunlight contains blue wavelengths that stimulate alertness and help regulate your circadian rhythm. Ironically, this is the same type of light we get from phones and computers at night, which is why screen time before bed can be so damaging. The key difference is timing. Blue light in the morning tells your body it's time to wake up. Blue light at night tells your body the same thing when it should be winding down. So the timing of light exposure is everything. For older adults, this becomes even more important because the eyes gradually let in less light as we age. The lenses become thicker and filter more blue light, meaning your brain gets a weaker signal from daylight. That's why seniors often struggle with disrupted sleep and higher nighttime cortisol levels. They're simply not getting enough bright light during the day. The solution can be as simple as spending more time near a window, walking outdoors after breakfast, or even using a bright light therapy lamp in the morning during darker seasons. Light therapy lamps are especially useful during winter when daylight hours are short. These lamps mimic natural sunlight without UV rays and provide a strong, consistent signal to your brain that it's daytime. Using one for just 20 to 30 minutes in the morning can help reset cortisol and melatonin rhythms. People who use them regularly often notice not just better sleep, but improved mood, more stable energy, and fewer mid-afternoon crashes. That's because cortisol is being released at the right times again. But light exposure isn't only about mornings. The way you handle light throughout your entire day matters. During the day, you want bright light exposure, but as evening approaches, start dimming the lights around you. This gradual reduction helps your body recognize that the day is ending, which signals cortisol to start dropping. If you keep your environment bright and full of screens late at night, your brain keeps thinking it's still daytime and cortisol remains elevated. That's why it's so important to reduce exposure to screens and bright lights at least an hour before bed. In the evening, switch to warmer, softer lighting, lamps instead of overhead lights, candles, or amber tinted bulbs. These create the visual cues your brain associates with sunset. You're essentially telling your body, it's time to relax now. When the eyes see that change in light tone, cortisol production slows and melatonin starts to rise. It's the modern version of the campfire effect. Humans have always wound down under warm, dim light at night. Another overlooked factor is indoor lighting during the day. Most indoor lights are much dimmer than outdoor daylight, often by hundreds of times. Even a cloudy sky outdoors provides far more light than a well-lit office. So if you spend all day inside, your brain never gets that strong daytime cue. One trick is to keep your blinds open, let natural light flood your space, or position your desk near a window. If that's not possible, you can use full spectrum bulbs that mimic natural daylight. They're not as effective as the real thing, but they can help maintain your circadian rhythm if you can't get outside. When your body gets enough light during the day, nighttime cortisol suppression happens naturally. The brain receives the message that the day was bright and active, and now that it's dark, it's time to rest. Your hormonal rhythm resets automatically. You start to feel drowsy at the right time, fall asleep faster, and stay asleep longer. It's all part of the body's intelligent design. Light tells it when to be awake, and darkness tells it when to rest. And this isn't just about sleep, it affects your overall health. Chronically elevated nighttime cortisol can lead to inflammation, insulin resistance, and even weight gain. It also weakens the immune system and accelerates aging. So by restoring your natural light exposure pattern, you're not only improving sleep, you're protecting your long-term health. You're supporting heart health, brain clarity, and hormonal balance. The benefits ripple throughout every system of your body. You can even think of light as medicine. Just like you take nutrients from food, your body absorbs information from light. Morning light energizes you, midday light sustains you, and evening darkness heals you. When you align with that cycle, your cortisol rhythm becomes balanced. That's why spending time outdoors has such a profound impact on both mood and sleep. It's the most natural way to reset the body's hormonal clock. If you really want to enhance this effect, try grounding while you're outside. That means standing or walking barefoot on grass, sand, or soil. Grounding helps reduce electrical stress in the body, and when combined with sunlight exposure, it strengthens the cortisol-melatonin balance even more. Many people who practice morning sunlight and grounding together report better energy during the day and deeper, more restorative sleep at night. For people who live in areas with limited sunlight, consistency becomes the key. Even a few minutes of exposure every day can train your body to recognize a pattern. It's better to have short, regular exposure than to get sunlight occasionally. The brain loves rhythm, and when it detects consistent cues, it starts sensing hormones automatically. That's when sleep becomes effortless. You fall asleep easily, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. And here's the part that's truly beautiful. Your body remembers this balance. Once your circadian rhythm starts functioning properly again, it doesn't take as much effort to maintain. It becomes your new normal. You'll notice that you start feeling sleepy around the same time each night and naturally wake up earlier feeling more alert. That's the sign that your cortisol and melatonin are dancing together in harmony again, just as nature intended. So if you're struggling with nighttime wake-ups, restless sleep, or feeling tired despite getting enough hours in bed, take a look at your relationship with light. Are you getting enough sunlight during the day? Are you surrounding yourself with artificial light late into the night? Your sleep problems might not be from what happens in the bedroom at all. They might start with how much daylight touches your eyes during the day. The simplest change can make a huge difference. Spend a few minutes outside each morning. Let your eyes without sunglasses receive the light. Breathe the fresh air, stretch your body, and let your brain register that it's daytime. Throughout the day, stay near natural light as much as possible. Then, as night falls, lower the lights, turn off screens, and let your environment get dimmer. This rhythm, bright by day, dark by night, is what your body needs to fully suppress cortisol and let melatonin flow freely. Once you restore that balance, you'll notice your sleep improving without effort. Your body will begin to fall asleep easily, stay asleep deeply, and wake up naturally at the right time. You'll feel calmer during the day, more energetic in the morning, and your nights will become peaceful again. It's amazing how something as simple as sunlight, the most natural, free, and abundant source of healing, can bring your hormones back into perfect rhythm and give you the deep, refreshing rest you've been longing for.